If your blood pressure is high, what have you been blaming? Salt? Stress? Getting older? Bad genes? Because what if I told you that for a lot of people, the real cause of high blood pressure is not one evil ingredient sitting in a shaker on your table, but a whole pressure system in your body that has quietly been pushed out of balance for months, sometimes years, before anybody catches it. And that is exactly why so many people feel shocked when they see a number like 150 over 90. They say, "But I feel fine. I eat pretty well. I'm active. I'm not that old. How can this be happening to me?" And that confusion is where people lose precious time. Because high blood pressure usually does not arrive with fireworks and alarms and dramatic warning signs. It usually shows up like a leak in your house wall. No loud crash, no big scene, just a slow, hidden damage that keeps spreading while life goes on. And then one day, it is not just a number anymore. Now it is chest pain. Now it is kidney trouble. Now it is vision changes. Now it is a stroke that everyone says came out of nowhere, even though your body had been whispering for a very long time. I was recently talking to someone who told me, "Doctor, I don't understand it. I'm not sitting around eating fast food all day. I'm not pouring salt on everything. I even switched to sea salt, which, by the way, does not magically make salt harmless." But his blood pressure kept climbing. And when we walked through his real life, not his ideal life, but his actual Tuesday, the picture became clear. Poor sleep, too much work stress, restaurant meals he thought were healthy, alcohol on weekends, morning caffeine before water, almost no downtime, and a waistline that had slowly changed even though his body weight had not changed that much. So today I want to show you what high blood pressure really is, what actually drives it in real life, and most importantly, how to fix the root of it. Not with guilt, not with fear, and not by pretending there is one miracle food that saves everybody. My name is Dr. Andrea Patrick. I've spent over 2 decades caring for people whose blood pressure got ignored until it started harming their heart, brain, kidneys, eyes, and blood vessels. And if you understand what your number is trying to tell you, you can change the direction of your health much earlier and with much less suffering. And before we get into it, if these videos help you understand your body in a way that finally makes sense, please take a quick second to like the video and check that you're subscribed. It really helps this message reach people before they become a medical emergency. All right, let's get into the real cause of high blood pressure. Number 1, what high blood pressure actually means. High blood pressure is not just a random diagnosis. It is physics happening inside a biological system. Your heart pumps blood forward. Your blood vessels either allow that blood to move smoothly or they resist it. And your kidneys decide how much fluid and sodium your body is going to hold on to. So when your blood pressure rises, it usually means one or more of these things is happening. Your vessels are too tight. Your arteries are too stiff. Your body is carrying too much fluid, or your nervous and hormonal systems are keeping you in a state of pressure instead of recovery. That is why I want you to stop thinking of high blood pressure as just a salt problem. For some people, sodium is a big piece of it, absolutely. But the real cause is bigger than that. The real cause is that the systems that regulate pressure are being pushed in the wrong direction day after day. Your blood vessels lose flexibility. Your kidneys keep hanging on to sodium and water. Your stress hormones stay elevated. Your sleep is poor. Your metabolism becomes less efficient. And your body gradually starts acting like it is under threat, even when you are just sitting in your kitchen answering emails. When you see a reading like 130 over 80 or 145 over 92, those are not just annoying numbers. The top number is the pressure when your heart squeezes. The bottom number is the pressure when your heart relaxes between beats. Both matter, because they tell us how much strain your arteries are facing all day and all night. And if that strain stays too high for too long, the walls of those blood vessels start paying the price. They get injured, they get stiffer, the heart has to work harder, the kidneys filter under pressure, the brain's tiny vessels become more vulnerable. This is why people get fooled, because high blood pressure often feels like nothing until it feels like something major. That is why it is called a silent killer. And personally, I think that phrase is dramatic but accurate. The danger is not that your number is imperfect for one day. The danger is that people live with elevated pressure long enough that the pressure becomes their normal. And once the body adapts to a bad normal, people stop asking questions. They stop noticing subtle fatigue, headaches, flushing, poor sleep, palpitations, erectile dysfunction, brain fog, and that vague feeling that something is just a little off. Number 2, the real cause is usually a pattern, not one thing. So what is the real cause? The honest answer is that high blood pressure is usually a pattern problem, not one food, not one stressful meeting, not one bad night. It is the repeated combination of vessel tension, fluid retention, arterial stiffness, metabolic strain, poor sleep, stress chemistry, and sometimes an underlying medical problem sitting underneath all of it, making the whole system worse. This is why two people can eat the same meal and one sees their blood pressure spike more than the other. Everybody's system has a different reserve. Let me make this simple. Blood pressure tends to rise when your body is doing 4 things. Number 1, it is squeezing the blood vessels too much. Number 2, it is holding too much fluid. Number 3, it is losing the elasticity of healthy arteries. And number 4, it is getting repeated signals from hormones and nerves that tell the body to stay activated instead of relaxed. And the frustrating part is that modern life is excellent at pushing all 4 of those buttons. It is not just what you eat, it is how you sleep, breathe, move, think, recover, and what silent conditions you may be carrying. For example, if you are chronically stressed, sleeping 5 hours a night, waking up tired, drinking coffee before water, eating on the run, sitting most of the day, and then rewarding yourself with takeout and alcohol at night, your blood pressure is not rising because your body is weak. It is rising because your body is responding exactly the way a pressure-regulating system responds when it is overwhelmed, inflamed, under-recovered, and metabolically strained. The number is not there to shame you. It is there to tell you the system needs help. And yes, genetics matter. Age matters. Family history matters. Being Black in certain healthcare systems can matter because risk is higher and outcomes can be worse. Kidney disease matters. Thyroid problems matter. Sleep apnea matters. Certain medicines matter. But even when those things are part of the story, lifestyle still interacts with them, in a big way. People love to separate genes from habits as if they live in different worlds. They do not. Your habits decide whether your inherited risk stays quiet or gets amplified every single day. Number 3, one huge cause people miss: bad measurements. Before I tell you how to fix high blood pressure, I need to say something people do not hear enough. Sometimes the first cause of high blood pressure is that you are not measuring it properly. And I know that sounds too basic, but this matters. I have seen people panic over a reading they took right after climbing stairs, with crossed legs, talking during the reading, cuff over a sweatshirt, after coffee, after a cigarette, when their bladder was full and their arm was hanging at their side. That is not a calm cardiovascular measurement. That is chaos with numbers. If you want a useful home reading, sit quietly for at least 5 minutes. Feet flat, back supported, legs uncrossed, arm resting at heart level, cuff on bare skin, no talking, no coffee, smoking, alcohol, or exercise in the prior 30 minutes if possible, and empty your bladder first. Then take 2 readings, 1 or 2 minutes apart, and track them. If you only check when you are anxious, you are not tracking blood pressure. You are tracking your worst moments. What we want are patterns, especially your morning pattern and your evening pattern. And this is why owning a good upper arm blood pressure monitor is one of the smartest health purchases you can make. Not because I want you obsessing over numbers, but because I want you to stop guessing. Guessing keeps people comfortable. Data changes behavior. When you start seeing that your morning blood pressure is always high after short sleep, or your readings stay elevated for 2 days after restaurant food, or alcohol hits you harder than you thought, suddenly your body is not mysterious anymore. Now you can see cause and effect. And once you can see it, you can change it. Number 4. The salt story is real, but incomplete. Let's talk about salt, because this is where almost everybody starts. Yes, sodium can raise blood pressure. Yes, some people are especially salt sensitive. Yes, reducing sodium helps many people. But if salt were the whole story, then everyone who stopped using the salt shaker would have perfect blood pressure. And obviously that is not what happens. The reason is that most sodium does not come from the little sprinkle you add at the table anyway. It comes from restaurant food, sauces, breads, packaged meals, deli meats, fast food, frozen meals, and healthy convenience foods that quietly deliver a sodium overload. So when someone tells me, "But I barely use salt," I always want to ask, "Okay, but what about the bread? What about the salad dressing? What about the soup? What about the rotisserie chicken, the crackers, the protein bars, the canned foods, the takeout bowls, the low-calorie frozen dinners?" Because sodium hides in foods people no longer even taste as salty. And when your body holds on to that sodium, it often holds on to water too, which increases the amount of fluid your heart has to push through the system. More fluid, more pressure. It really can be that mechanical. Number 5. The metabolic piece most people never hear explained properly. One of the biggest drivers of high blood pressure that people miss is metabolic dysfunction. And I don't mean that in some trendy internet way. I mean the simple reality that when your body becomes less sensitive to insulin and more likely to store fat around the abdomen and liver, it changes how you regulate pressure, fluid, inflammation, and vessel tone. This is why somebody can look relatively healthy, maybe even exercise, and still be developing high blood pressure because their metabolism is struggling beneath the surface. When insulin runs high too often, which can happen with excess body fat, especially belly fat, too much ultra-processed food, constant grazing, poor sleep, and inactivity, your kidneys may hang on to more sodium. Your nervous system may stay more activated. Your blood vessels may become less relaxed. And over time, that whole pattern pushes blood pressure upward, even before diabetes is diagnosed. So if your waistline is expanding, your triglycerides are high, your fasting blood sugar is creeping up, or you feel sleepy after meals and crave snacks all day, that may be a blood pressure story too. And I want to say this carefully, because people hear lose weight and immediately shut down. But the issue is not cosmetic. The issue is not fitting into old jeans. The issue is what excess visceral fat is doing to your hormones, your liver, your insulin signaling, your inflammation, and your vessels. That hidden fat around the organs is metabolically active, and it is far more important than whether the number on the scale makes you happy. Some people need to lose 10 pounds. Some need 30. Some need to lose inches around the waist more than they need to chase a specific scale number. Another piece of this is constant eating. Many people think they are being healthy because they are always keeping their energy up. A little granola here, a smoothie there, a healthy bar later, sweet coffee in the morning, late night snacks in front of the television. And the body never gets a break. Insulin never gets a proper rest. Digestion never gets a reset. Your system stays busy, all day long. Now, I'm not saying everybody should do some extreme fasting plan. I am saying that for many people, eating less often, eating earlier, and stopping the late night snacking helps blood pressure more than they expected. Number 6. Sleep may be more important than you think. If your blood pressure is high and nobody has asked you about your sleep, that is a miss. Bad sleep pushes blood pressure up in several ways. It increases stress hormones, worsens insulin resistance, reduces recovery, and if you stop breathing at night because of sleep apnea, your body repeatedly goes into an alarm state. Oxygen drops, stress hormones surge, the heart and vessels get hit over and over again. And then people wake up and say, I don't understand why my morning blood pressure is the highest number of the day. Well, sometimes the answer started in the middle of the night. So if you snore loudly, wake up unrefreshed, need naps, have morning headaches, fall asleep easily in a chair, or somebody has noticed that you stop breathing in your sleep, please do not ignore that. Sleep apnea is one of the most under-recognized causes of stubborn high blood pressure, and it is especially common in people who are overweight, but not only in them. I have seen plenty of people miss this because they assumed apnea only happens in a certain body type. That is not true. Poor sleep can keep your blood pressure elevated even when your diet has improved. Number 7. Stress, caffeine, alcohol, and the I'm fine trap. I also need to talk about the nervous system because this is another real cause people overlook. If your body spends most of the day in fight or flight mode, your blood vessels do not behave like relaxed, healthy vessels. They behave like guarded vessels. Heart rate climbs, muscles tense, breathing gets shallow, the brain stays vigilant. Cortisol and adrenaline do what they were designed to do, which is help you survive something acute. But modern life asks your body to run this chemistry for emails, traffic, bills, loneliness, deadlines, and doom scrolling. That is not normal physiology. That is chronic activation. This is one reason some people have what looks like unpredictable blood pressure. It is not random. It is reactive. It goes up after conflict, poor sleep, rushing, anger, caffeine on an empty stomach, work pressure, pain, nicotine, stimulants, or alcohol. And because these spikes come and go, people convince themselves they do not count. But blood vessels count them, even when you do not. Repeated pressure surges still create wear and tear. So if your number is high only when I'm stressed, please understand that chronic stress is not a side issue. For many people, it is part of the disease. Caffeine deserves a quick reality check too. Some people tolerate it beautifully, others really do not. And you will not know which one you are by debating on the internet. You know by testing. Check your blood pressure before coffee, and then again 30, 60, and 90 minutes later on a calm morning, and see what your own body says. If your pressure jumps, that is useful information. Same with alcohol. People love the idea that a little drink helps them unwind, but alcohol can raise blood pressure, worsen sleep quality, contribute to weight gain, strain the liver, and push morning readings higher. And nicotine, vaping, stimulant drugs, decongestants, some antidepressants, NSAID, pain relievers like ibuprofen, certain hormones, and some herbal products can all be part of the story too. That is why stubborn high blood pressure should always make you step back and ask, what is this body being exposed to every day? What is it carrying? What is it compensating for? Because sometimes the real cause is sitting in the medicine cabinet, or in the nighttime routine, or in the fact that the person has been taking a decongestant every day and never realized it matters. Number 8, the fix starts with seeing the pattern. So how do you fix high blood pressure? First, you stop treating it like a personality flaw. This is not about being good or bad. This is data. Your body is telling you it is under pressure, literally. And the first way to lower that pressure is to make the invisible visible. For the next week, check your blood pressure properly at home, morning and evening, and write it down. Not in your head, not, I think it was better, write it down. Also note sleep, alcohol, exercise, stress, restaurant food, and anything unusual like headaches or palpitations. Within days, many people start seeing the truth. Maybe your blood pressure is worst after takeout. Maybe it is highest after short sleep. Maybe it falls on the days you walk. Maybe coffee is not your friend. Maybe the weekend is hurting you more than the work week. Maybe your supposedly healthy frozen lunches are sodium bombs. And that awareness matters, because behavior changes faster when the body gives feedback. Lectures rarely change people. Patterns do. The second fix is movement. And I do not mean punishing exercise. I mean regular muscle activity that tells your blood vessels they need to stay healthy. Walking lowers blood pressure. Resistance training helps. Moving after meals helps glucose handling. Being less sedentary helps. And one of the simplest strategies in the world is a brisk 10 to 30-minute walk most days, especially after dinner or after your largest meal. People underestimate walking because it is not glamorous, but blood vessels love consistency more than they love drama. Number 9. Fix the food pattern, not just one ingredient. The third fix is to improve food quality in a way that lowers pressure from multiple directions at once. More potassium-rich foods if your doctor has not told you to restrict potassium. More magnesium-rich foods. More fiber. More beans. More leafy greens. More fruit. More unsalted nuts. More minimally processed foods. Less packaged food. Fewer restaurant meals. Fewer sauces. Fewer salty breads and processed meats. Less liquid sugar. Less late-night snacking, and less pretending that a meal is healthy just because it came in a bowl with the word protein on the label. I want to be really clear here. If you want lower blood pressure, you need foods that help your blood vessels relax, help your kidneys balance fluid, improve insulin sensitivity, reduce inflammation, and support a healthier weight. That means the answer is usually not another diet food. It is actual food. Beans, greens, fruit, oats, yogurt if you tolerate it, seeds, vegetables, fish if that fits your pattern, potatoes without the salty processed toppings. And yes, meals you cook more often at home, because home food is much easier to control than restaurant food. And please do not forget liquids. Sweet coffee drinks, juice, alcohol, and even constant smoothie habits can keep calories and insulin higher than people realize. If you wake up and start the day with a sugary or creamy coffee before water, then nibble all day, then snack late at night, your blood pressure fix is not just eat less salt. Your fix may be to simplify the rhythm of eating. Drink water first, eat real meals, stop the random extras, finish dinner earlier, and give your system a chance to settle. Number 10. Fix sleep and morning pressure. The fourth fix is to respect morning blood pressure. Many heart attacks and strokes happen more often in the morning hours because the body naturally has a morning surge of stress hormones. That is normal. But when the system is already strained, that surge can become too much. So if your mornings are chaotic, dehydrated, sleep-deprived, and flooded with caffeine, you are starting the day by stepping on the gas pedal of a system that is already redlined. One easy habit is to wake up more gently, sit before standing, hydrate early, do not grab your phone and your coffee as the first act of consciousness. Let your body transition. And if you have high blood pressure, actually measure your morning number before you tell yourself the day is fine. Because for many people, the morning reading is the most revealing reading of all. It exposes the poor sleep, the late meal, the alcohol, the untreated apnea, the stress load, the dehydration, The whole hidden story from the night before. Number 11. Fix stress with physiology, not just positive thinking. The fifth fix is stress management, but I do not mean vague advice like just relax. I mean using physiology to pull your system out of overactivation. Slow breathing works. Longer exhales work. Short walks work. Sunlight in the morning helps circadian rhythm. Lowering constant stimulation helps. Not every stressor in life is optional, obviously, but your body still needs off-ramps. If it never gets them, blood pressure becomes one of the places that tension shows up. A simple place to start is this. Sit down, shoulders loose, jaw unclenched. Inhale gently through your nose for 4 seconds, then exhale for 6 to 8 seconds. Do that for a couple of minutes, especially before checking your pressure, before sleep, after work, after conflict, or whenever you feel your body revving. And no, this is not silly. Your blood vessels respond to your nervous system, and your nervous system responds to your breathing. That is biology, not wellness fluff. Number 12. Know when the cause might be medical. The sixth fix is to know when high blood pressure needs a medical workup, because sometimes the root cause is not just lifestyle. If your blood pressure is suddenly much higher than usual, very hard to control, showing up at a young age, or staying elevated despite doing the right things, your doctor may need to look for other causes. Kidney disease, sleep apnea, thyroid disease, adrenal problems, medication effects, pregnancy-related issues, narrowing of certain arteries. And yes, all of those can matter. I especially want to say something to the people who are taking medication and feeling ashamed about it. Please stop. Lifestyle is foundational, but some people absolutely need medicine, whether temporarily or long-term. If your pressure is severely elevated, waiting for flax seeds and walking to rescue you is not wisdom. It is dangerous. Medication can lower risk while you work on the deeper drivers. And sometimes people need both. The human body is not a moral project. It is a physiology project. In fact, one of the smartest things you can do is use medication and lifestyle together instead of imagining they are enemies. Medicine can reduce immediate danger. Lifestyle can reduce the forces that keep recreating the problem. That is a powerful partnership. What you do not want is a situation where the number looks better on paper, while the sleep, weight, stress, food pattern, alcohol, and inactivity stay the same underneath. Because then the disease process is still being fed, just more quietly. When to act fast. There are also times when you do not wait and see. If your blood pressure is above 180/120 and you have chest pain, shortness of breath, severe headache, confusion, weakness, vision changes, trouble speaking, or severe back pain, that is not a self-help moment. That is an emergency. And even if you do not have symptoms, a severely high reading needs urgent medical guidance, especially if it is repeated. High blood pressure is dangerous partly because people normalize danger for too long. If you want, start today with just 4 things. Drink water when you wake up. Measure your pressure properly. Walk for 20 minutes. And eat dinner at home without turning it into a sodium festival. Do that consistently, then build from there. Because blood pressure usually does not improve from one heroic act. It improves from repeated acts of alignment. Where your daily life finally starts working with your biology instead of against it. And if you want me to make the next video on the best foods that directly help relax blood vessels and lower blood pressure naturally, let me know in the comments. And if this video helped you understand why your pressure may be high in the first place, please like, subscribe, and share it with somebody who keeps saying, "I feel fine." Because sometimes that is exactly the person who needs to hear this most.